Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Superfriends episode 69. This is a
Nice.
huge monumental
A
episode.
monumentous occasion.
The
That
milestone.
everyone's
Yeah.
been waiting for.
I know I have.
Yeah, it's the episode where we finally announced the end of this podcast.
Yeah, it's over, guys. There's nowhere really to go from here. Episode 69, it just won't get any better.
Yeah, with a heavy heart we must resign.
No one
sorry,
likes
guys.
70.
Nobody.
Yeah, if we end the podcast, though, people will be sad, like AAV and Ian Jackson and Corey.
They'll feel
Lucas,
hollow.
and-
They really will. It's just a huge chunk of like your schedule, your plan is gone.
Oh.
It's like, what will you
Oh,
hate
those-
on now?
Oh, those virgins, how I miss them.
Oh,
Oh,
Luke out here throwing shade.
No, I meant AAV calling us virgins.
Oh, I see. I
He was
didn't get
speaking
that.
as AAV in the specialty play he
Yes.
just made.
I should have made that clear.
The one-man show.
Of course,
Yeah.
that will be ignored, and they'll just take the first part. But
The
anyway,
episode's up to a great
Anyway,
start.
who's got this episode, by the way? What's the behind the scenes on this?
The
Plug.
behind the scenes.
Plugs.
what's the
Are we scooping? So I've heard a rumor that this episode is brought to you by Loot Crate. Yes, Loot Crate, the awesome subscription service that sends you a box of unique, nerdy, geeky goodies every single month. You get a ton of stuff in there, like an exclusive T-shirt you can't get anywhere else. And this month's theme is actually Build. It's still Build. You can actually get that until the 19th. And using our exclusive link, www.trylootcrate.com/hybrid network, and the promo code BRIDGE10, you can take 10% off any subscription. So go ahead and get that build crate while you still can. Get 10% off any subscription. And I guess next week we'll have a new theme to tell you about, hopefully. But yeah,
Ooh.
good stuff.
What could it be? It's so exciting. You'll have to open it up to find out.
There you go.
Yeah, where'd you hear that scoop from? Collider Video?
Yes,
That-
I did
oh.
hear it from them.
Damn. Alright, speaking of Collider Video and Crisis and all that stuff,
Uh-oh.
so we have news on the Batman movie. That's a thing.
Basically, speaking of the crisis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny
All
is
these
like
rumors.
we got like good news and then we got bad news. It seemed like
I
it
don't
was
think
like
we brought
headed-
up the crisis at all so far in this one.
No, we haven't. But I think
But
That was a
speaking
remnant
of it
for that
anyway,
last one.
speaking of that crisis, I mean, people just assume it's perpetually in crisis at this
Yeah.
point.
everything is
It's a
on fire!
It's like
it's
the
a
dog.
perpetuated narrative.
This is fine. This is fine. The world's ending.
Yeah.
But
So the story is that obviously Ben Affleck stepped down as director of the Batman movie, and it had been discussed about like who was going to take over. There's a short list that came out, and I'm not sure, was this Variety that scooped this, or was this THR that announced that Matt
I
Reeves is
believe
going to early talks?
THR. I think THR had it was either one. I know it was THR and Variety, but one of them came out first and said he's in early talks, and then the other came out and said no, this is like gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it was
Looking it
THR.
up.
Yeah, I think so.
THR scooped it, and Variety came in afterwards and was like, "Yeah,
Yep.
this is
They
Matt
came out
Reeves
with the
is the guy."
assist,
Yes,
Yeah, THR.
like
cut
Free
them.
Willy.
THR hit him with the pass. Variety slam dunked it. That's
Yeah, so Matt Reeves, of course, from Cloverfield and the two Planet of the Apes, the most recent Apes films, is apparently in early talks to take over for the Batman directing duties. So, I mean, I mentioned in my video that I made about this that it's a pretty solid choice so far. Just have to see how it pans out, because he could step away for creative differences in about
there
a
you
month
go.
or so.
Who knows? I mean,
That's true.
That's happened. It's not
We're gonna flip
unprecedented.
the script and have a page 2 rewrite.
I don't know. I mean, I really enjoy.
The first page is solid.
Page 2
can't be
rewrite.
improved.
Keep the first minute. Everything else, throw it
The
out.
first page is good. Yeah, there you go. Keep the first few lines of dialogue. Exposition about dreams and beautiful lies and bats carrying
title
you up
field.
into the
Your
light.
thoughts?
The first
thoughts
page
on
just
Matt
has like
What do you think about Matt Reeves, CJ?
I mean, I really like him as a director. I think he's kind of shown in those movies that we just mentioned, like Cloverfield and both of the Planet of the Apes, kind of the current new franchise. He's got there's a little bit of darkness in all of those movies, and I really especially love what he's done with Planet of the Apes. Specifically, I always forget which one was Rise and which one was Dawn. Whichever one the most recent one was spectacular. I think it was
Dawn, yeah.
It was really, really good. And so if I don't want to say it's like, oh man, if he can make it, it's kind of hard to see how he'll translate to a Batman movie. But I mean, he's got a pretty good track record at this point. He's definitely got a hot hand coming off those two movies. So I don't know. I think this is a good
The
hire.
third one will be out by then too.
Yeah, it will be. I think it comes out next year.
He directed
doesn't it?
all three, right? They didn't switch it.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think he's directed all three.
No, Rupert Wyatt did the first one.
That's true.
And
So
then,
Oh, so he did the
Yeah.
second and third one. Okay.
yeah.
okay. In that case, then yeah, he definitely. I did prefer the second one to the first one, so I was gonna say I was kind of giving him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, but no, absolutely. I think I'm very excited for this hire.
Luke, what did you think of Matt Reeves getting announced possibly?
Same as CJ, it's a really good choice. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is phenomenal, just as a movie. Just completely surprised at how great that movie is, honestly. But Matt Reeves, I feel like if he were to come on, hopefully he could add like his own special spin. And I think if he did, he would probably add a little bit more of a human element to Batman, because I feel like some of the more disappointing aspects of Batman films is that Batman's not necessarily relatable in those films. Batman Begins, I think, was the last one where you really connected with Bruce Wayne, and I feel like Matt Reeves, if he were to come on, I think he could really tell a humanizing story about a guy dressed as a bat running around and punching people.
Well, they already did that with Lego Batman.
We'll get
That's
to
true.
that.
I've heard a
Get
lot
to it,
about
Nick.
that.
You didn't feel connected to Bruce when he was sitting in that cafe, like, and he and Alfred like saw each other and then just didn't say anything to each other. He walked away.
Mistakes were made. Stuff happened.
What about BVS Bruce?
The Martha scene, dude. That's a humanizing
I'd-
moment for Bruce.
Anyway, Batman
Tim,
Begins.
Tim, what are your thoughts on Matt Reeves?
You're done, Luke.
Yeah, stop getting
Cut
off
him
topic,
off.
God damn it.
I wasn't off topic.
You're on the other freeway. You took the wrong exit.
God, Tim,
You're
what do you
driving the
fucking
wrong way
think?
on
I
the
don't
freeway.
care.
So I guess, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really like the most recent Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movie. This has been a pretty solid new franchise. That one was definitely better than the first one in terms of the human characters and the ape characters. Also, did a good job of building up tension with that. And it had Gary Oldman in it, so tied to Batman already.
Oh yeah, I mean, I personally just think maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say like they could work Andy Serkis in there, but going back to what you said about like the ape performances, I honestly thought like Andy Serkis's performance in that movie was probably the best one I saw that entire year in any movie.
He was really good in that.
Spectacular. If Reeves can get that kind of performance out of Affleck, I mean, I'm not
He's
saying
similar to a
he's just
CGI
gonna
Yeah.
monkey.
be a
Yeah,
monkey.
All you have to do to get that performance is throw him in that mocap
There you
suit with all
go.
the balls over.
All the little balls.
Yeah, just
you
make
go.
the bat suit fully CG. Just get him in that mocap.
100%. We'll do the Batman Beyond suit, so he'll have to
Yeah,
be
speaking of crazy stuff with Affleck, apparently this is a great transition.
We're gonna get
Apparently,
really shit on. Yeah.
Yeah, according to John Campea over at Collider Movie Talk, he's heard from three different individual sources that Ben Affleck is out the door after his solo Batman movie. He wants out of DC.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is
yeah, it's
people shat all over you for making that video like last week or a couple of weeks ago, where it was like there's this possibility that he could be leaving. Like rumor is he's really really unhappy.
Yeah, that was Forbes too.
Yeah, and for Mark Hughes, like a DCEU. I hesitate to call him a fanboy, but I mean he's definitely defended tooth and nail everything that DC's done up until this point. But he was the one saying like, look, this could be, a bad sign. Like I'm hearing there's more to be worried about here. And now Campy is saying like, yeah. So apparently he's already talked to WB about getting out of there. It's
Damn.
yeah, it's not a good situation at all. Got to think if Wonder Woman or Justice League are a hit, like maybe that'll be like turning it around, but that would be a huge blow. Like I don't even know where they would go from losing Affleck.
You just
It
kill him.
might be just a huge amount of stress working on like the DCU right now, and with him like also wanting to do like acting, directing, starring, writing roles and other stuff, it might be too much of a time commitment.
Yeah, Luke, what do you
So-
think about this?
I'm gonna stay in a wait and see kind of boat. I'm not knocking a Joan Campy sources, but
What? Joan Campy? Who's that? John Campea?
I'm Johnny Campawea, but
Luke talking shit, trying to get us into a war.
No, I don't knock like his sources. I mean, I'm sure he heard what he heard. I'm in a wait and see kind of boat. I think it's mostly just because I'm tired of Batman news. Like, I'm tired of hearing about how this movie has so many problems.
Well,
Yeah,
it's like I
Batmaned
said in a
out.
previous podcast, like, DC is like they're just a really easy target right now for a lot of people due to their mixed at best reaction with all their movies. And
Yeah.
it's easy to get, like, people coming to you and getting clicks if you speak negatively towards it now. And then DC is always going to go out to defend it, and it's going to feel somewhat disingenuous if they respond to all the negative stuff, and it's a bad place they're in right now until they have a movie that's fully successful fan and monetary-wise. Because monetary, they're doing fine.
Yeah, and I mean, Mark Hughes, it's not to say that Mark Hughes is like... Because I've been seeing a lot of things like people are like, oh, Mark Hughes is just a clickbaity guy anyway. He's not reliable at all. I mean, like, Mark Hughes is like the last guy that is like wanting to throw shade at this franchise. As far as I know, he is completely on board with like BVS and some of the stuff that they've been doing. So to say that this is an attempt to get clicks or this is just him trying to like get more shit piled on the DCU just seems a little inaccurate considering his standing with the franchise and what he feels about it.
Yeah, also it's hilarious how Mark Hughes went out of his way to like defend every single point about Suicide Squad. Like every clickbait headline, he's just like, nope, that's wrong. And then like now all of a sudden, like when he's the one actually saying negative things, everyone's like, nope, he's wrong now. Like what?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's kind
It's weird.
It's crazy how they'll just turn on you like that, just out of nowhere, really. And it just everything, because he is, like I said, I don't want to call him a fanboy because he's a professional, but he's basically got this track record, and it's like all of that is out the window the moment he said something potentially might be headed like south.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like again, like Tim said, it could probably just be a bunch of stress. And Ben Affleck just, I'd assume he doesn't want to just completely devote himself to purely DC comic book stuff. He wants to do other stuff, and I can understand if maybe the workload is too stifling or things are just too stressful, he might just not want to really be a part of it.
Yeah, and if he wants to be fully creative with it, like, it's different for, like, other people with contracts like this who are just actors. He's, like, in all his films pretty much now, and originally with this, he was doing multiple parts to it and was involved in a lot of it, so he wouldn't have had as much free time as people who are just acting in them.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting, you brought up a point about, I think, like, negative clickbait headlines and stuff like that. Collider Movie Talk, that where the story originated, doesn't mention that in the title at all. It's actually their topic today was Matt Reeves signing on to direct the movie. So it's kind of interesting that he just kind of dropped it like that. But it doesn't seem like it was motivated by the clickies at all.
Right.
Even that guy from Batman on Film, remember? He was he published a negative scoop, and he's a big Batman fan, obviously. But
suddenly he hates
But
DC
no, he's
and
not.
doesn't like DC Comics. And
yeah, so you have
Yeah.
all these people: Mark Hughes, Batman on Film, Sean Campea. They all come out. They got them scoops about that negative press on Batman.
Marvel's check cleared.
Yeah. Well, that's
Cashing
this
that
is the
Marvel
general
check.
logic of the internet. It's like with Death Battle, where they had Wonder Woman and Batman lose, and then Superman beats Goku, and they're suddenly DC fanboys.
That's true.
Mhm.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Like just
Yeah.
one slip up, and you're labeled for life,
You can't please everybody, I guess.
or anybody.
There is a movie that did please everybody. It came out over the weekend. It was
Number
called
one
Lego
this
Batman.
weekend.
Yeah,
Lego Batman.
it's Batman.
Lego Bateman.
Speaking of Batman,
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
There's a Lego movie.
I mean,
It's awesome.
there you go. That might have been the cleaner transition. Was speaking of Batman, there was a good movie that came out this weekend. I mean, I just remember
Good
Tim.
DC movie.
Tim, you posted a good DC movie that actually also took shots at all of the other DC movies. I think I saw it because
Yeah,
I still haven't seen the movie yet. So luckily, I'm reading here on the side. It says spoiler-free review. Thank God. But I did see there's a line in there, like a dig at Suicide Squad, that I
Oh,
died
I saw that
laughing.
too.
Oh yeah, there is one line that's a dig at Suicide Squad, very briefly during one of the scenes.
Getting criminals to fight
Doesn't he have his
criminals
bat
is
armor
stupid.
in one scene too? He's talking about
I mean,
how
like they
he
have
was-
the flashbacks to like all the previous movies. Like in one of the early scenes, you see it in the trailer for it, and one of them is him fighting Superman from BVS.
Pretty
It's all
fantastic.
muted and everything, like the color filter.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that people don't take that personally, because it's like,
Oh, I'm sure people will.
They will. But it's
I mean,
it's
they
just
don't say anything
so
super
tongue-in-cheek.
negative about it directly in the movie. They just sort of, like for BVS, they just sort of reference that it happened. Like
Oh,
they
they
don't
say it was that
state
one
way or the
awful
other whether
movie.
they liked the events or not. Just that he was kind of melancholy in it.
I thought the line before he had the flashback was, "Remember that one time you're in an awful film," and then like flashback to in that mech suit.
it's one of the worst parts of my career. Oh God.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent
There you
Will
go.
Arnett. But Tim, what did you think of the Lego Batman movie? Just a quick, brief thoughts on it.
Overall, I like the movie. I don't like it as much as the original Lego movie, and honestly, of the 5 movies in the last 2 years that Batman was in, it's probably my second favorite after Return of the Caped Crusader. But it definitely is very solid. I really like Dick Grayson Robin, and it's a different interpretation of him, but it's still fun. I like Ray Fiennes as Alfred.
Yeah, it was cool too. Saying this is kind of a spoiler, but I won't say specifically, but it was cool how they used other WB characters and licenses towards the end of the movie.
But they didn't have Ray Fiennes for prize in that. That was weird.
Well, there you go. I'm sure some people might have picked up on it there. I know I did.
Goddamn spoilers!
I said nothing specific. You can't claim. That's all in your head.
You said the words.
Your brain is what spoiled it for you. You couldn't keep your brain in check.
Why did you say that name?
You know, I've heard from a review that I've read, actually, that made me a little bit more excited. Someone actually said that besides it being like a Lego Batman movie, the story of it's not really what you'd expect, that it's actually kind of a decent Batman story just in general.
It's one of the most thought-provoking
simple
stories.
Story to it. Like basically the general theme is Batman learning to work with other people because of his loss from the past holding him back.
Yeah.
It's decently explored. It's sort of easily resolved, but it's a kids movie, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's just I was just surprised because I thought it was going to be like something more akin to Lego Movie, where it'd be kind of not like Batman would just be like a paint on a different kind of plot, but it actually was it's interesting that it's like a kind of a Batman plot just put into a more humorous setting.
Yeah.
That's
and
really
then
cool.
the Joker's plot is basically he wants Batman to commit to him as his archenemy. One of the things about the movie, like, I wasn't a huge fan of is they just kind of wasted a lot of their voice cast. Like, outside of the main 4, like Rosario Dawson also did good for Barbara Gordon, but she's kind of a boring character. Like, she's the straight man, but they also don't give her anything particularly funny to say or do.
Right. True.
But, like, the rest of, like, the Batman Rogues Gallery that shows up in it, they're all voiced by, like, pretty funny people that I don't really get why they bothered getting for the movie, because they all have, like, 2 to 4 lines at most.
Yeah, like, isn't Conan the Riddler and he barely says
He has one line.
Huh.
Billy D. Williams
weird.
has 2, and they're both basically background noise.
You can't
To
even
be
hear
fair,
them.
to be fair, that's pretty cool. They at least gave him 2 lines.
But also, it was cool how the Bane in this movie was the Dark Knight Rises Bane.
You know, it's Doug Benson doing the Bane voice from Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That was unnecessary.
I also like the Harley voice actress in this one.
Jenny Slate, she was pretty good too. She was kind of inconsistent with the voice that she used for Harley, but she had good energy for the amount of time she was on screen.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think my only like complaints with that. I really like the movie too a lot. If you want to hear my full thoughts, I guess you can go check out Hybrid Movies because we talked about it pretty in depth. But I like the movie. I think my only like main gripes with it, like you mentioned like Barbara, that was like an issue because she was kind of flat. And then also, I kind of felt like the movie dragged a little in the beginning. Like, it took a little bit to get going, and then once it did, though, it was cool, I think. But
Hey,
like,
definitely.
the whole, like,
I like the Justice League cameo that they had in there. Basically, all the
Yeah,
Superfriends characters.
I kind of wish that there was more of them though, like a little bit more.
I wish they had
cameo.
more impact on the story than they did. Like, that's probably the biggest problem with the movie. Like, they want to focus so much on, like, the big four of the Bat family and the Joker that everyone else gets pushed to the wayside. But the movie's still good despite all that. I still enjoyed watching it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely great. Yeah, definitely check it out in a theater near you. But I don't know, is anyone else gonna see it? Like CJ and Luke, are you guys gonna go try and catch it? Or?
I'm sure I'm gonna see it at
definitely.
some point. It's just a question of when. As we were discussing, like with me potentially coming on hybrid movies, the issue is that I just haven't gone to the movies in a long time. So,
I mean, I'm probably gonna see it tomorrow, and if that sounds depressing, it is.
Yeah, it has like the movie is like actually so sad. It's got like a heartwarming story about Batman, how he's just alone like all the time, like he has nobody.
The League
Nope.
doesn't like him.
Nobody.
But then he learns to like accept people in his life. It was good. Better than BVS, the way they did all that mopey shit, whatever.
Oof. Anyway,
He didn't murder people to get that. Okay, anyways,
Oh.
moving on. In animated news, we have a trailer for Teen Titans: The Judas Contract and a scene.
Yeah.
So, I'll just say first off, I like the trailer. It looks pretty cool. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting from the trailer itself. I thought that they would lean more on like more of the Deathstroke stuff, but it seemed kind of like more leaning towards the other villain that they have in the movie.
It leaned definitely more towards Brother Blood, but also towards Nightwing in the trailer. It seems like they're trying to frame him as the main hero of it, which is nice.
Yeah.
I definitely support that.
So, yeah, Tim, what did you think of the trailer? I know you've been waiting for this movie for like 20 years.
The trailer's pretty solid. I'm not sold on Brother Blood's voice for it. Like, it's kind of flat and uninteresting compared to everyone else in it, but everyone else sounds really good for it.
Yeah. What version of Brother Blood is this, too? Is this like a...
there's been, like, so many Brother Bloods in the comics.
I kind of was hoping that they would do the mystical one or whatever, but...
This is the cult leader one.
Yeah.
It looks like Jericho, based on the trailer, is in the movie. Looked like he was the one they were putting the powers into.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Looked like,
Yeah, well, he was wearing,
go
like, the
back.
purple vest, and he had the, like, blonde fro.
Huh.
Blonde fro.
Yeah.
Alright. What about his daughter? She's gonna be in there?
Right? I don't imagine Rose will be in
Was
there.
Rose in there? I don't
If
know.
it's the
Tara's in
Judas
there.
contract, he's already gonna have a female teenage sidekick.
True.
That's true.
True.
Yeah, CJ, what did you think of the trailer? You're a big Nightwing fan.
I actually really enjoyed it. I mean, the only like nitpicky thing I didn't really like was the red suit. I feel like they kind of had to get it in there somewhere. They were probably like sitting there looking at. It's like, okay, what movies are coming out? When are we gonna do the red suit? Just to do the one-off, like people can point to this as like we didn't just completely ignore that he didn't wear the blue suit in the New 52, but. Yeah, other than that, like I don't hate it completely. I really like the trailer, and I really like the clip they released, I think yesterday, where it's kind of a
based on
flashback.
the trailer that they showed of him like escaping like in his civilian clothes, I feel like the red suit's gonna be like a backup suit that he picks up before meeting up with the Titans.
That would actually be really
Maybe.
cool. Yeah, if that's the way they decide to go about
Yeah,
it.
wasn't he in blue in the previous films?
He's been in
Yeah,
blue
yeah, he's
in
been in
all
blue.
the other 3 movies he's been in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll probably just be for this one-off movie.
That's
kind of
what I was thinking. Yeah. So it's not really it's not like a game-breaking, like, oh, I'm not going to see the movie now type of thing, but...
It's a deal breaker.
There you go.
I really did, like you were saying, I did really like the scene. It was a flashback to when they met Starfire.
Yeah.
There's a
So
reason
we
we
got
liked
to
it.
see
Yeah.
the old school Titans, like Dick's team when he was Robin.
True.
Yeah, that scene is amazing.
It really
like
was.
that animation is fucking amazing.
really
Oh, why
good.
couldn't the whole movie be
animation's
like
nice.
that?
From what I saw, like apparently the voice actors from Young Justice for Bumblebee, Roy Harper and Kid Flash are all reprising their roles in this movie.
Yeah, and this is being directed by Sam Liu too. Isn't he one of the better directors they have? Or
He's pretty solid. I think he did Teen
Jail
Titans
versus
versus
Teen
Justice
Titans?
League. I think he may have also done Gods and Monsters.
let me check really quick. I think.
But I do also think that he did The Killing Joke, so he's hit or miss.
True.
He's currently batting 3 against 1 right now, I guess. So
Well,
it's a good track.
supposedly it
750
says
isn't
he
bad.
co-directed Justice League Crisis on 2 Earths and Batman Year One.
Those
Alright.
are pretty good.
Better movies. I mean, he's done other stuff like in the past. Like he did Starship Troopers, the animated series, Godzilla, All-Star Superman, Public Enemies, Apocalypse, Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. So I mean,
He's done a lot of work with DC. I think he also worked on
Yeah.
Young Justice.
Yeah, probably. I think so. So also, I just want to mention too that this is one of Miguel Ferrer's final performances. So
This might
You
be
know,
the
just-
last one that's released, and may have been the last one recorded. I don't know what he was working on or recording before this, because he's on a TV show now too.
yeah. So I don't know. It looks cool to me. Do we have a release window for this? I mean, they just said summer, I think, or something like that, or was it spring? Actually, I don't remember.
Yeah,
'Cause-
We double
I,
check.
I honestly forget for it. Let me see if I can look it up real fast.
They still just say 2017.
Alright.
So
Maybe it will be closer to summer because they like to have a DC movie out during the summer because they screen them at San Diego too, like
True.
Yeah.
Joke did. So they'll probably space them out like that. Like they'll have this one air at San Diego, then Batman and Harley at New York, probably close to the fall.
if I had
That
to
makes
guess,
sense.
I'd say maybe sometime like early August, just so they can premiere
Yeah.
it at SDCC and then be like, hey, it's coming out
Like the
in
day
like a
after.
week. Yeah, they get older
It'll probably go
digitally
on.
released.
It'll go on digital probably during
Yeah.
SDCC or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So expect
yeah,
expect that commentary, I guess.
Wait, Luke, what were your thoughts though on the trailer? I don't think we got you. Did you like it or you?
No, I did. Yeah, I mean, it all just kind of boiled down to I really thought that clip was beautifully animated, so I was very excited to see it.
Yeah. Also, this one's PG-13 too. Did you guys think that they would do a R for this or no? It's just kinda-
No.
There's no reason to do an R for it. Like Justice
Yeah.
League versus Teen Titans was good. That was PG-13 also.
I mean, I just
about-
Like,
JLD. What was that R?
there was a shit monster. So,
it's true.
You got the shit monster. Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
You know,
But there was no
that's that, I
smoking in
guess.
that.
Yeah, weird that it was R-rated, a lot of blood, yet Constantine never smokes. That irritated me a little bit.
you gotta wait for like I guess it's gonna be like a deleted scene on the DVD. He has like the Nicorette patches. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's trying
like,
to
not
kick the,
even in
kick
the-
habit. No, I'm actually completely making that up. I don't
Just-
fucking know. It's
There's a
It is
lollipop.
weird. He's like not even in the final scene. Like not once is he shown smoking. It's really weird.
quick cold
It's like
turkey.
a big
Okay.
part of who he is.
So I think we're all in agreement that the movie looks pretty cool and just can't wait to see it. Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully, it's worth the wait.
Yeah.
Worth the
Yeah,
8-9 year wait since they announced it. Supposed to be the third one.
Hell yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So before we get into viewer questions, do we want to mention that last thing?
That last the other
Like-
rumor that we have to talk about. The other the other rumor that this episode was again brought to you by Loot Crate, the awesome monthly subscription service that sends you this crate, this box of incredible, cool, nerdy, geeky goodies, including some stuff that you can't get anywhere else, like an exclusive T-shirt. I know I still have. I don't know if you're able to see it in any of the H&Ns, but I have a Groot pop that I ever like. It was the first pop I ever got. Came in a Loot Crate. It's the one with the glow-in-the-dark hand. I don't know. Does Mikey have that one? Because I might like lord that over him. But no,
I
this
don't
month's
think
theme. Damn it! This month's theme is build, and you can still get that. I think trying to do the math on when this episode is going to come out, the 16th, maybe 17th. So you'll have a
Yeah.
couple more days to go and try and get that box. It's Lego themed, of course. We had Lego or it's kind of Lego centric, I guess is probably a better way to describe it, because we have Lego Batman just came out this past weekend. And it's got stuff from Batman in there, but also some stuff from Power Rangers, Tetris. There's another one in there. Tim, do you remember which? Where's that fourth thing?
Power Rangers, Batman,
Tetris.
Lego Dimensions. and
Might be
Tetris.
Lego Dimensions, yeah.
No, it is
But I
Lego
mean-
Dimensions.
They just have a ton of cool stuff in there. We don't actually know what next month's theme is going to be, but we'll probably have some more info for you next week on that. But once again, this is brought to you by Loot Crate. Just go ahead and use our exclusive link, www.trylootcrate.com/hybrid network, and the promo code BRIDGE10 and get those savings, guys.
Yeah. So with all that said, let's move on to our final segment, viewer questions.
Oh, yeah.
First question: Scott O'Pire, pop cult fan, says, "Ask Super Friends, who would you guys cast as Black Lightning, and when do you think the character will cross over to the other DC CW shows?" CJ, who's your fan cast?
Casting's a little tough. Damn. I I don't know. I think going off of kind of if they're still sticking with the plot details that had been reported when the show was first announced, I don't know. What's Wesley Snipes doing these days? Is he just because he hasn't been in anything recently? So I would love to see
Blade.
if he's. I mean, well, he was Blade, and if they ever bring Blade back, I know he's probably in line for it. But hey, I mean, this is supposed to be an older Black Lightning, so I think Wes would be great for that.
Yeah, Tim, who's your casting?
Give me a chance to think it over. I'll try to figure it out by the time I get to the end of this question.
All right, Luke.
Well, there's two choices I have here. One is my old favorite. I always got to go back to it. Jaleel White. I think would really
This actually, he might
spice
be
up
able to
this
work this
show.
one. This is the first time I feel like you saying Jaleel White actually works.
Oh, why couldn't he work the other times, CJ?
It's a
What are
very
you trying to
versatile
say?
actor.
They were mostly female roles, but
But actually, I think my serious one, I don't know if they could get him. I don't know if he's like kind of a little expensive for a CW thing. I think Terry Crews would actually be kind of
That
cool,
would be
just
hilarious.
because I like not only that, just because I liked him on Everybody Hates Chris. He played a working blue collar dad very well in that show, and I think that could be what you need for like Black Lightning.
You said I hope Terry Crews isn't expensive, dude. He was in those Expendable movies. Like he ain't.
Well, I mean,
damn
CJ
Sam
said
Jackson
Wes.
or Denzel.
I'm just saying, CJ said Jaleel
I love
White.
Terry
CJ
Crews,
did not
that's
say
why I
Jaleel
was
White.
I'm not saying
meant-
Terry Crews is
I
cheap.
meant-
I love him. But...
I meant friggin' Wesley Snipes.
Oh, okay.
See, I was gonna say we could. If I can change my answer, I'll say Dave Chappelle. I think that would be pretty fantastic. But, or Charlie
great.
Murphy. What's Charlie Murphy doing these days? Not
But,
Eddie.
Yeah,
Charlie.
seriously.
I was gonna say Orlando Jones. Actually, I don't know if he would do it.
Oh yeah, that would be fantastic.
That'd be pretty cool.
I feel
I
like
think a lot
that's
of people wanted him.
a realistic casting too. That's not. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I guess for mine, I'd probably say Damon Wayans Sr. if they can get him.
Yeah,
That's not a realistic casting.
Yeah, and the whole second part of the question, what do you think it's gonna cross over? I mean, it depends on what the universe is gonna be like, where it's gonna be set. Well, we don't know yet. So.
Yeah. So.
But I would imagine they would cross them over during the whole yearly thing that they do, right? I mean, that's just...
Probably.
yeah.
And
yeah,
if he's in Supergirl's verse, maybe like once or twice in the year.
Yeah, that's probably the big
Yeah.
question. Is it like is he on the Supergirl side or is he on the Flash and Arrow side?
Or is he on the third side?
There you
like
go.
a pocket.
The pocket
He's
dimension.
in the
dimension.
Black Lightning cinematic universe.
There you go.
The
Yeah,
Suicide
alright,
Slum cinematic universe.
Somehow that's also just called Monsterverse. It's the third Monsterverse.
The third Monsterverse.
No, the other one's called Universal Monsters Cinematic Film Universe.
No one's
Yeah.
gonna call it that.
What's funny is so apparently Legendary's Monsterverse is like capital M, capital V. So it's monster. It's not like two words though. It's like one word but with two capital, like a capital letter in the middle. It's like, what? Doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah.
What?
What?
So moving on. Next question's from Eric. He says, when's the fighting game podcast?
When's
Never.
Marvel?
I would fucking love to do a fighting game podcast. In all fairness,
We
But,
were joking about like, well, I guess you guys might not have been joking, but it was kind of talking about doing other podcasts, and it was like, do we really want to get to the point where we have like a podcast for every day of the week? It's like,
Yeah, we
maybe.
should do a wrestling one.
wrestling cast.
Yeah. I assume the fighting thing would come out if we ever get a game part of Hybrid off the ground, but that would just be part of a gaming podcast.
Soon.
I
Yeah,
guess.
just get folded into the discussion on that.
There you
Yeah.
go. It just folded into the discussion, so like the discussion would become like the fighting game podcast.
No.
Fold everything into the discussion. Everyone go and watch it right now.
Every
It might
episode.
Be up right now. We don't know if we talked about fighting game cast. We don't go
It's
there.
only up. It's only up for a limited amount of time. Go check it.
Dude, the discussion is the hub for Hybrid Network, so yeah, it
kinda
has
is,
everything
yeah.
there.
It's everything.
It's Schrodinger's fighting game cast. You don't know if it's there or not if you don't check it.
You don't know if.
It's like you won't know if it's a fighting game podcast unless
Until
you
you
look at
do,
it.
it both
But
is
what's
and
funny-
is not a fighting game podcast. So
No,
go check
No,
out
no,
the-
no, no, Tim. What's funny is, but by looking at it, you change it. So if you go and watch it, it's not the fighting game podcast anymore. It's Heisenberg. There you go.
They'll have to do that testing on their own.
Quantum.
What's the next
uncertainty.
question?
Next question. Jalen, who's the best DC pet? Examples: Ace, Crypto, Batcow.
Crypto.
CJ, who's your pick?
Crypto. I mean, Ace is cool, but Crypto's got a cape. You just can't beat a dog in a cape. It's definitely not Batcow. Sorry, Waru.
Mine is Beppo the Super Monkey.
Okay. Lurk, what's yours?
Comet the Super Horse.
Actually, can I change my answer?
What?
Comet is a very tender lover.
Oh God.
No.
Catherine the Great.
Tim was able to pick up why I like Comet so much.
Supergirl was able to pick it up too.
I'm gonna change my answer to Teakle, Clarion's cat.
All right.
Probably the most
familiar.
powerful, or I was gonna say most powerful, but no, still. I mean, does Crypto have like Superman's weakness to magic? Because in that case, Teakle wins. He's a demon.
Nick, what's your favorite super pet?
I'll just say Batcow.
God damn it.
Moo.
Unacceptable.
There should be a Super Pets book.
Super Pets podcast.
Super Pets book.
No, it's called the Legion of Super Pets.
No, that's the one that didn't get any traction.
Doesn't have a book yet.
We're getting Super Sons. We'll get Super Pets.
I mean, Crypto and Ace exist, so.
I mean, they do.
Yeah.
So it should happen.
Last question, Watercrook. Are you guys going to buy the DC Rebirth hardcovers with the new trades combined? Are you? Is that like the? Is that like? Do they do like a whole year or something? What is he talking about? Because I know that there's
like an omnibus type thing.
I think there's a Rebirth omnibus that has like all the one shots from like all the the ones that they just came out.
Yeah, see, that might be something that I'm interested in. If they're gonna do like hardcovers for individual books, like for the entire year, I wouldn't. There are only a few titles that I would do that for, like probably Nightwing, of course. I'd actually be interested in Omega Men if they did one for that, because I'm the only person.
Yeah.
But trying to think of like one
Detective
Comics,
I definitely pick up the Superman and Wonder Woman one. The Wonder Woman one would be like a fucking volume, like a fucking novel. But
you never did that Wonder Woman arc review.
No, I didn't. But I just credit that to the fact that no one cared about the Wonder Woman book, and more specifically, no one cared about comic reviews.
True.
So.
Also, it's too late to apologize.
It's too late.
No,
to apologize.
we're not even gonna get started there. We're gonna nip that in the bud.
Tim started me on it. He knew I was gonna sing it.
Just,
for me, I'm not sure. I'm not a huge fan of hardcover stuff. I may get individual trades that I like over time.
Yeah, that's how I am. I only buy hardcovers if it's like something I like really want that's in hardcover form only. Because I usually only will buy like trade paperback stuff, or if it I mean for hardcovers too. I also like the absolutes where it's like the oversized printing of it. Where it's like, like how they have they do it on a special paper where it's like really big. You can see all the artwork really nice. But
Wow,
that's about it.
Hopefully they'll bring those back.
I think they still do the last. I'm trying to think what was the last absolute they released. I'm not sure. Probably Multiversity or something like that. But. Anyways, that rounds out the episode. Thank you guys again for checking out Super Friends episode 69. And if you enjoyed this episode and you want to get your question answered, just leave a question with the hashtag #AskSuperFriends. And that's for Tim, Luke, CJ, and me. We're signing off, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Later.